Hello there. So today I want to talk about political commentators, about the effect they can have on people. I met someone, and this guy's a Republican. He listens to all these political commentators on the right, and I was thinking to myself, talking to him, that this guy is probably not the only guy like this. There's probably a lot of people like this actually. And what I'm talking about is how enraged he was with things he's hearing from the right because he's listening to the political right commentators. He might have come to these conclusions on his own. I don't know, but I do know that the people on the right, the political commentators, have drawn these conclusions, and are expressing them to people. They're saying things like, "We lost our First Amendment right," or "We're losing our First Amendment right because of all these social media platforms." And I've been saying for a while now, if you follow my channel at all, that these social media platforms do not, there's no First Amendment right for them. That's just the reality of it. They are businesses. And the truth of the matter is, whether the right likes it or not, is they have to play catch up to what the left has been doing. The left created the platforms. The left's been doing this for years. The left has had these platforms before 2016. YouTube, Amazon, all these places, all these platforms, they've existed before Trump's election, but they're all people on the left. They're leftists. And they're controlling the narratives of these things. And the same way with movies. You want to make a movie, whoever's controlling the narrative of the movie is what's happening within the movie. Same thing with your channel. Whatever I'm speaking about here, I'm controlling the narrative of what I'm talking about here. So the trick has to be using business and all that stuff to fight back. Business has to be the way to fight back. I've concluded in general in life that you know how to make a successful business. You apply those things for the successful business for every aspect of your life, and you just move towards making it the best it can be. Your life will be more successful, more happier, more fulfilled, and it will be beneficial for basically everything within your life. It's a wonderful thing actually, is the business idea. But it's very hard to say like, oh, we're gonna do it now. Like, it's kind of like you have to, though. If you're for freedom, you kind of have to say, yeah, this sucks, we hate it, but we kind of have to go with it. And maybe rather than saying we have to fight against the social media from doing what they're doing, people running their business how they want to, we have to say, no, actually, we gotta get away from them. Maybe I have no idea what would happen. Okay, this is a question I would ask political commentators if I got to speaking to them or whatever it is. What would happen if right now all the people on the right decided we're going to make our own platform? We are going to make our own businesses. Ben Shapiro speaks about making our own credit cards, let's say, because the left people are going to. Oh, it's not just Ben Shapiro; it's a lot of political commentators. And at the end of the day, it sounds insane, but as I've heard from Andrew Klavan, freedom is ugly, and this is part of it. Okay, from the people doing things, the government's supposed to be helping things to be things for the people, by the people, and all that stuff. The government's supposed to protect that. People doing this to one another, it's part of reality at the end of the day. Who was it? John Adams, maybe one of the presidents, founding fathers, maybe it was. I don't remember exactly who said that we kind of need to continue wars happening in this country. Why? Not because we want people dead, but because we can actually forward the idea of freedom, having to continuously fight for it. And we're not really doing that anymore. And at this point, we're just basically being a bunch of whiny babies. A lot of people in their lives, things are getting better and going good. And I got this guy I'm speaking to in real time who's telling me how we're doom and gloom, end of the country, no First Amendment, no this, no that, because this guy's listening to all the political commentators telling him these things. And I'm thinking to myself, no First Amendment. Social media doesn't entail a First Amendment. The First Amendment, where in the First Amendment does it say if you open up an internet platform, you have to allow everyone to have the freedom of speech on it or anything like that? People are talking about the internet like it's the public square. It is not a public square. I'm sorry to say. You have to pay to actually be on the internet. When it comes to rights, my view of rights, and I'm remain consistent on this, is it's free. If it's not free, it's not a right. Okay, that's how this works. If you have to pay for the internet, it's because it's not a right. Now there are people that would say, well, you don't have to pay for it. There's a way you can use it, this and that. I don't care about the ins and outs. I care about how things are. In reality, how things are. If I want internet right now, I want to connect with everything. As the way it is set up, you have to pay for the internet and you got to pay for the services, and you get to use the services that are provided from there that they control. That's the reality of it. I don't control Facebook. They control Facebook. They want to do things how they want to do things. I don't like it. Too bad. I go to a place, they tell me $2 for a slice of pizza. I say, okay, give me a slice. And they're like, no, it's $2.50. You don't get the slice. I walk out. What am I supposed to do? No, but you said. This is basically what's going on here in a larger scale, obviously. But they got to play catch up. My issue here, what I'm talking about here primarily, is the fact that people outside of people are just listening to the political commentators, are hearing the right speaking about these things, and they're just getting enraged and furious, and they're feeling everything's all doom and gloom. And in reality, that is not the reality. There's no one doing like a reality check on what's going on to what these people are actually saying. And I think these people know that they're trying to just express things politically and potentials, and I just think they're not realizing the effects that it's having on people. People are being all doom and gloom. I hear it in their mailbags when they're responding to mailbags. How are we gonna this and that and blah 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 and then they're just like, "Whoa, take a chill pill." Is basically what they're saying in a lot of the times, because they're not realizing people are listening to them and following them, and based on what they're saying, what they're getting from it is that that like enragement, that like, oh my god, like everything's the worst, and then they got to tell them calm down, and they're not realizing you're the one telling them to actually not be calm in the first place. And I just don't think they're realizing it. But I think this is something we got to realize and actually have conversation with another. Actually realize what's going on in my life. You know, in my life, this guy's visiting from out of town. He's able to travel. He's able to enjoy his freedom away from wherever he wants to, go on vacations and do things. A lot of people are still going on vacations and doing things, but we're talking about this country like it's the end of the world. It's like, this is not right. Okay, this is not how we got to actually deal with reality for what it is. We have Joe Biden in office. A lot of things he's doing that are insane, as far as I'm concerned. And a lot of people are saying how this is the end of the country. This guy was actually telling me we are never getting a Republican in office ever again. I'm just like, I don't know. Right now we're going through uncharted territory. As far as I'm concerned, Joe Biden wasn't really properly elected. Whatever it was, um, it's not it's not whatever it is at the end of the day. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. We don't know what's going to happen, and to say you know right now because of all the facts and all the evidence, like, have you examined it? Did you go through? I've never been through the Dominion voting machines. Have you? I've never been through. I have no idea what happened. What's going on in there? I have no idea what's going on with all the votes. I haven't counted all of them. Everyone will say so easily, "Come on, we see it all. We know what's going on." It's like, I'd like to agree with you and say based off what I've seen also, but unless I actually go through it myself, I'm not really gonna say I know for sure. That's how I am. It's like kind of like my view on things with the Big Bang and evolution. An argument I will make against it, you can say, kind of is like, unless you were really there, you can't really know. It's speculation. It's theory. It's not. Atheists would say no, but in science language, theory means factual and this and that and blah blah blah. It's kind of the same thing here, and I like to remain consistent with all these things. And I think in general, it's just, I'm not saying that the people on the right shouldn't say what they're saying, but we have to be careful of what we hear and how we take it, and actually maybe take a step back and examine what's going on in reality, and not maybe take reality to be based on what people are telling us it is. Because what people are telling us reality is, it could be there's truth to it that's worth examining, but see how it applies to your actual life. See what's going on, and deal with your own personal issues. Don't think about thinking about Amazon and all the problems from the entire everything and how it's corrupting the government and all that stuff. It's like, you're making yourself crazy for what exactly? I've met people recently that are telling me, you know, I'm kind of taking a step back from the politics because it's just making me crazy. And because people are realizing like the stuff is not, it's like they could take a step back from hearing these things and actually move on with their life and be happier than hearing all this like how crazy everything is. And I think they're right. I'm still following because I don't think it makes me crazy. I'm able to follow and actually have opinions and disagree with them and hear what they're saying and do actual critical thinking and actual research on what they're saying and see what I make of it. And what I'm making of it isn't as crazy as they're making it out to be. So I am able to continuously do that. And I'm actually hopeful in a lot of ways for things going on. I think it is important to know what's going on. But if you're going to have people out there just trying to make you crazy, not intentionally, just doing it, take a step back, chill, relax. And yeah, that's all I got for that. All the best. Thanks for watching.